All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's that time again where I read you from my book, A Patriot's Journey, Forging Hope. Today, we're going to start off by just doing a quote about strength. And it says, "Look in the mirror. That is your competition and nobody else." And just want to say how much I love that because far too often do people look at somebody else's life or look at somebody else and want to be like them when really just be yourself and you should love who you are. And so I just love that, and it's positive, and I think that's the way we should start every day. Just finding that inner strength to live better than we are, or try harder than we've been trying, or dig deeper than we've been digging before to overcome these hurdles that we've been going through. So this first poem I'm going to be reading is called Transitions. Well, there you go, off again into the ground. I'm choking back the tears as I look around. I look at the box just hovering above the ground. I know at any moment they will lower it without a sound. Now the death of my friend is really getting real. People are shouting, crying, and just finding ways to heal. If you are alive, I would just ask you now what everyone that loves you supposed to do. I just don't get it. You were here 1 minute, then gone the next. I swear 15 minutes ago you sent me a text. Your boys now have no father for them to depend on who is going to bond them together and become men. I don't hate you because that's a strong word. I just think it's because I think you're a giant turd. You were only one to see through the games I played. You made me push a Hummer. I bet 2 tons it weighed. I wish you could help, and if you were still around, but I said you were pushing daisies now in the ground. Transitions is finding your next chapter in life, or in this case, um, learning to manage to deal with your own problems by yourself now. The person that you used to go to all the time is no longer around. Um, Decisions were made outside your control, and there's nothing you could do about it. And it's sad to say that one of my really good friends lost that battle and became a victim of the 22 a day. And he was somebody that, if I had problems and just needed guidance, he knew when to be a father figure to me. He knew when to be a brother figure. He knew when to be just a jokester or somebody just to kind of ease the tension to me. Um, he knew when to take on different roles to match whatever emotion or whatever I was feeling or going through to help me through whatever it was. Um, and not everybody gets to find somebody like that in their life that can help them deal with things. And at the same time, everybody else is looking at you like you're worthless. And then that person is like, man, he has you fooled. Like, you don't understand. He has you guys played so he doesn't have to do nothing. Like, that's not him. But hey, keep playing his game though. He likes it. He likes not doing nothing. And, which got me more responsibility. Thanks a lot for that, Gus. Appreciate that. But at the same time, it was nice for somebody to see the true me, to see through the facade of what I was trying to portray. And I was able to just be myself. Um, I didn't have to be this cocky, overconfident person around him. I could just be me, the loving father, dad that only cares about his family and nothing else. Then then back to work, go back to the normal way I act. But it was just nice being me. Um, but then you lose that, and now you got to figure out how to move on. And it's not just me that has to figure it out. It's everybody that was ever close to him. His wife has to figure out now how to be a solo parent with 3 children at home, and to figure out now what to do with her life partner that she's been with for 20 years plus. Now they're no longer around. Your support system is all gone now, and you weren't consulted, so you feel betrayed. You feel all these things, and it's devastating. And if you go ask the people that have lost these loved ones, even though it's been years later, it could be a decade later, and these people are still feeling it like it just happened. And death's inevitable, and I understand that. Um, but I just hate feeling that way when I see somebody get buried in the ground that I was extremely close to, because you realize how permanent it is. Um, okay. Okay, so since we're talking about changes and transitions and discoverings, this poem is kind of similar. It says, what happens when the alpha gets distracted and loses his way? He just changes what happens, just not how I do it, I'd say. His confidence is lost, and his pride is now shook. Looking deep into his eyes, you can see the warrior's look. He never leans on people that just support his weight. He is trying to get better before it's too late. Because his confidence is shot, he's trying to take control. He is not realizing the pain on his wife is taking his toll. His wife has been through it all. It doesn't matter how big or small. The love she gives is more than I deserve. I know I drive her crazy and get on her last nerve. I have mood swings and seem to turn on a dime, but I seem to do it all the time. I have no questions running through my head. When I come back, I probably should be dead. Nothing is going to heal you, in my view, unless you change up what you do. Once again, these kinds of poems are rough because it takes people that you know that say are, I hate putting titles and stuff on people, but say typical leaders or alphas or whatever you want to call them, and everything that they've known or done or a part of is now no longer what they think or do or want to be a part of anymore. So like they're very core, so they're not, everything that they do is just, they question themselves at every turn. What used to be confidence in sound judgment turns into hesitation, uh, and mistakes being made, um, because they no longer value all sides anymore. It's just, eh, whatever. And then pretty soon they end up just losing everything inside of them. And people are constantly trying to help, throwing them life rafts and life preservers, and like, come on, get yourself out of this, depression or this rut or whatever you're going through, because they could see the writing on the wall that they're just letting themselves dwindle to nothing, and they're okay with that. And all of a sudden one day they just have to realize they're just gonna have to pull their head out and find out who they were. Find out, like that first starting said, is the only competition is you, and you're stronger than you think you are. And you kind of have to be reminded of that, constantly, because you're so shaken in all your decision making. And then when something does go wrong, even if it's something minor, it affects you. because you're like, see, I told you I couldn't make these decisions. And then you start doubting your abilities again, and then it just keeps going back and forth, and it doesn't help anybody or anybody or anything. You know, your wife looks to you to lead and guide their family, but you can't even make a decision on the simplest of tasks. You're more or less just kind of pulled yourself out of the game and just sitting on the bench and just waiting for it to be over with. And you know, I was kind of that guy, and I was uh, went through depression real bad, and um, trying to figure out ways to just like, I guess, to heal, I guess is a better way of saying it, you know. And next thing I know, significant weight gain, and you just keep looking in the mirror, and you're just getting more and more upset with yourself, and so then, you know, your depression gets worse, and then you eat more because you're more depressed, and then it's like you're more depressed because you're eating more, and then this is just a constant cycle, and you're trying to figure out how to break it, and you just like, you know, you just have to one day just kind of be like, this is it. You know, make your decision. Are you going to be there for your family, or you're going to eat yourself to death and not care anymore and just give up? Um, so finally, you know, I decided, hey, I'm done being the way I'm being, and I'm ready to turn over a new leaf. And, you know, because I found different ways of trying to heal, because the other ways of being medicated didn't work. Um, I actually tried going to 2 different hospitals to see if that would work, and they didn't work either. They actually made things worse. Um, that even made me question myself even more after I got back. And you know, the only thing that really helped me was going to Point Man and hearing these. We'll just say they're older gentlemen, so Vietnam, so you know they're old, and give their stories and their testimonies about things, and you realize that, you know, even after 50 years, it's been since Nam, and they still have problems, but you're hearing how they're dealing with it. So getting better is possible, and you know they give their credit to, you know, God and Jesus and everything, and that is what started me getting better. And I've always been religious, but at one point, you know, I kind of just said, God left me, so I left him. You know, it is what it is. And you know, I had to come back to the conclusion that he never did leave me. It was just me leaving him. And but you just gotta fight your way back, and you can do it. I mean, anybody can do it, and this goes for anybody with any types of traumatic experiences. Um, yeah, they're hard. They're a struggle. You gotta deal with a lot of things, a lot of issues. I know, I get it, but as long as you keep fighting, you're gonna get through it. And you're gonna come out stronger on the other side. So if anybody wants to, talk offline or whatever, once again, my email address is always forginghopepoetry@gmail.com. Answer any questions, comments, or concerns. Um, to leave you with that final thought of, you're looking in the mirror. That is your only competition, nobody else. And always remember, you're stronger than you think you are. So don't ever doubt yourself. Just pick yourself up and carry on. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the support.